Mitten in der Aufnahme habe ich gemerkt, mein Ton geht nicht. Hallo. Willkommen bei Genshin Impact. Ja, wir machen die Arcon Quest. Wir reden gerade mit Nahihi. Wir haben gerade darüber geredet, dass wir Sages entführen wollen, um an Informationen dran zu kommen und so. Ja, ihr wisst Bescheid. Ihr kennt wahrscheinlich alle die Quest schon, egal.
No way, that's too risky. You mean it'd be too easy to get caught?
Ja, was sonst, Paimon?
No, it's not that. We shouldn't involve innocent students in this. A single mistake could completely ruin their lives.
Na und, es sind dumme
Doing that
Schüler.
would be ignoring the safety of my
Töt ihn
people
doch
for my
einfach.
own
Du bist ein
selfish
scheiß
goals.
Gott.
How is that any different from what the sages are doing?
That's a good point. Spoken like the god of Sumeru.
Schnauze, Paimon. Ich kann mir nichts anderes vorstellen, außer Kinder zu töten.
Nahida, you're super smart, so you already have something in mind, right? Don't keep us in suspense. Spill the beans already.
According to a popular theory from the Vahumana Darshan of the Academia, rejecting impractical motions at the beginning of a planning session will give more weight to the actual proposal.
Okay, but aren't you the god of wisdom? You don't have to use that kind of gimmick to make us take your ideas seriously.
Well, I've been thinking that if I can't directly possess the leaders, and if I can't get ordinary people involved, then I should find someone who's already involved, but hasn't decided to side with the sages.
You're saying we should recruit a spy? That does sound like it could work. Oh, before coming back, we met someone named Alhaitham. He seems like he acts alone, and he likes doing stuff behind the Academia's back. They probably aren't in cahoots.
Actually, I already have someone in mind. Do you still remember that female scholar named Sataria?
Ah, die aussieht wie Kaya, ja.
Aria. Paimon remembers now. Isn't she the one who's always trailing behind the Grand Sage of the Academia? We ran into her basically every time the Sub-Zero's festival repeated itself. You could even say we're old enemies by now. Paimon still remembers the smug and mean way she always spoke to
Die
Niru.
blonde holde Maid da oben.
I've always liked observing all kinds of people, and Sataria has always stood out from the
Ich kann
crowd.
darauf achten, wenn das da ist. Ich will das einsammeln.
She was born in the desert and was hailed as their greatest genius. Her academic gifts allowed her special admission into the academia, and also gave her the opportunity to serve as the sage's assistant.
Oh, Paimon didn't know she was from the desert. She must be pretty special then. Paimon feels like most of the desert dwellers around the city are working as mercenaries.
The name Sataria means star. When she lived in the desert, she shone like the brightest star in the night sky. Later on, she was chosen by the sun.
Okay.
The star was given a place in the daytime sky to complement the sun's dazzling light. Soon after, the star witnessed the sun scorching the earth, which brought forth many disasters. The star began to waver. Instead of staying beside such a sun, wouldn't it be better to return and light up part of the night sky? But in the end, she couldn't give up the radiance of daytime. To cope with her shame, the star buried her guilt and closed her eyes.
Ja, scheiße für die, ne?
From the sound of it, Sataria's just hung up on the research opportunities here.
Ja.
But she doesn't really support the academia. She still feels guilty about not doing more for the desert, right? She's just running away from her problems.
Ja.
Indeed. When they are presented with complex moral issues, many people will simply plug their ears and go with the flow until the problem can't be fixed anymore. She's suppressing a lot of guilt, but before she realized it, she had already become the sage's accomplice.
Wie kann man das
She
nicht
can't deny her part in their
Du
schemes
bist ein
anymore.
leerer Schleimer und kriegst das nicht mit? Hä? Was ist das für ein
Right.
Scheiß?
We must somehow make her face her problems again. That way,
Arme.
not only can we get useful intel from her, but she can also use it as an opportunity to redeem herself. From my past observations, Sataria will take a day off from the academia every 10 days to do some shopping in the city. Tomorrow afternoon just happens to be a shopping day for her. That'll be our chance.
Die hat einen Shopping-Tag?
To prepare, let's go check out some of her favorite spots and have a quick chat with a few of the vendors there.
Internatsschüler in den Kommentaren da. Genshin Impact, ja. Hier sehen mein Team. Keine Ahnung. Ich warte auf Dia. Ich habe ein Dia-Bild vorbereitet auf meinem Razer. Mit Max Shit, ich bin keine Ahnung, so mit Max Shit halt. Für mein Level eigentlich ganz gut. Keine Ahnung. Mein Schicksal ist Level 40.
This should be Sataria's favorite fortune-telling spot.
Frage, wie kommt mal die,
So should we ask the fortune teller about Sataria?
die Consciousness
No, I already have enough information on Sataria. The most important thing now is for you to pay attention to
Talking style and key characteristics?
Sorry, aus Versehen,
My
das gibt.
poor lost lambs, have you become troubled over your fates? The divine voice of wisdom often echoes between mine ears. If thou be blessed today by the gods, I may be able to show you the way.
Huh? Really? Nahida, you've been whispering things to her?
My friend here has some doubts regarding her future.
Damn
Can
luck.
we get a fortune reading for her?
Manchmal frage ich mich echt, was Paimon macht den
Of
ganzen Tag.
course,
Also,
of course.
ist Paimon wirklich
In
so
that case,
dumm? Also wisst ihr, was ich meine? So dumm kann man doch eigentlich gar nicht sein. Das muss man doch erstmal schaffen, so
it would
dämlich zu
seem
sein.
that Harut and Marut are
As for
quite
real.
wary of you. Perhaps, at some time in the past, you have somehow offended the gods.
Okay, und jetzt?
Only mocking the god of Animo, questioning the lord of Geo's financial savviness, and brawling with the god of Electro. Do those count?
Hmm?
Oh, nothing. Go on, pick an aspect for her to divine.
Gesundheit, ich hasse Liebe.
Health prospects. No problem at all.
Kann ich diesen Beutel da kaufen? Die sehen echt sick aus.
The gods have spoken. The truth shall be revealed.
Okay.
Your life shall continue on for many tens of thousands of years. Impossible.
Ja,
Harut,
dummes
Marut,
Kind.
did you two spoil my divination? I've never read a fortune so absurd.
Ich sag's mal so, ne? Unsterblich zu sein ist schon irgendwie geil.
Actually, Paimon thinks this is probably the most accurate fortune telling you've ever done.
I admit that the orientation of today's celestial matrix is
Matrix?
suboptimal. As such, there will be no charge.
Is that so?
Bullet
Well, that can't be helped.
Catherine so beugt sich so nach hinten, um so einer Kanonenkugel auszuweichen.
If you were to bring some food offerings for Harut and Marut on your next visit, perhaps they could help you reverse the
warum sieht
wheels
Catherine
of
eigentlich aus wie so eine
fate.
bayerische Dirndl oder so? Nur mal eben so gesagt. Wer zum Teufel bist du?
Is this another one of Sataria's favorite stalls?
Yep, it belongs to a king. His father helped Sataria a lot when she first moved to Samari City, so she still comes by whenever she has time. When I start talking with him, listen carefully to the details of our conversation.
Ah, dear customers, would you like to look at some pottery?
We caught wind of your great craftsmanship, so we specifically came to take a look.
Oh, I recognize you. Aren't you Miss Catherine from the Adventurers Guild?
Der hat safe einen Crush auf
Sounds
die.
like I'm
So
in
wie der
for
Typ
some
von der
big
letzten Part der Quest, so einen
business.
Crush auf
Speaking
wie
of,
heißt die?
where did you
sagt.
learn this trade?
I suppose you could say it all started with my dad.
Und dann ist dein
He's a
Dad los und
mason
hat
by
Milch
trade,
geholt.
but I picked up an interest in clay while apprenticing for him. After that, I began making pottery by myself in secret, and I simply changed trades when my works turned out well. Although it's a pity that I'm no longer making much use of the knowledge provided to me by the Akasha.
That's nice. You're making a living doing something you love.
Ja, Palmer, das solltest du
So
auch
is
mal
your
machen.
father
Geh
still
essen und
working as a
verdien dabei
mason?
Geld. Keine Ahnung, geh zu mein Lokal, dein Lokal
Oh
oder so.
no, not anymore.
Und hör auf mich zu
A few years
nerven.
back, he fell from a roof and broke his leg. Since he had already saved enough mora over all these years, he's just enjoying the retired life in Port Ormos nowadays.
Vielleicht
I
willst du ein
see.
bisschen gebratenes
We
Fleisch mit
wish him peace and
Sauerkraut.
happiness in his retirement. I'll have someone in charge of logistics at the guild come by another day for some goods.
By the way, wenn
We'll leave you
Jula
to
ihren
it.
Rerun
Take
bekommt,
care now.
kommt auf
No
jeden Fall ein
problem.
Video, wie ich richtig
Rest easy,
reinwählen
all
werde.
our goods are sure to meet your every need.
Das Diapol-Video kommt auch, sobald Dia kommt. Ich hab nicht so viele Wishes, aber ich habe 50 oder so insgesamt. Glaube ich. Ja, 52 Stück ungefähr.
Inactivity serves no purpose whatsoever.
Also, kein Plan. Was? Keine Ahnung.
This should be our final stop. Sataria's always thinking of this restaurant when she's working at the
Alter, der Lieder ist so
academia.
creepy, ne?
So she
Du
always
liest
comes
einfach deine
by whenever
Gedanken,
she's
stell dir
out
vor,
in
du
the
lebst
city.
einfach so gechillt dein
Nihida,
Leben.
you've
Auf einmal
really
kommt da
thought
so ein
of
Gott und ist so,
everything.
Interessant. Du magst also
It's my duty
Donuts.
to protect Samari's citizens, after all.
Hi there. I feel like I've seen you down by the docks before.
Huh? Sorry, I don't quite remember.
Quishan.
If I recall, you were having a discussion with someone about shipbuilding at the time.
Ah, that's right. I've always been really interested in feats of marine engineering. After all, I grew up in
Okay,
Liyue
und warum bist du
Harbor
denn
and spent my
arbeitslos?
entire childhood staring at the ships
Okay,
going
okay,
in
okay.
and out
Du
of the
kommst aus
port.
China und gehst
I came to
geh-
Sumeru to study,
und
but
gehst
failed to make it into the academia due to my lack of
in
talent.
den Mittleren Osten.
But I'm still discussing all kinds of
in
problems with different
irgendein arabisches
scholars.
Land.
And I'm continuing to study and perform research from
Und
the
chillst
restaurant's
da,
basement. I'm
dann
sure I'll get
wahrscheinlich
to the
wieder nach
academia
China
after
zu
their
gehen,
next round of
weil du
exams.
dort den Gottheißer
What an
findest.
admirable spirit for learning. Amazing.
Verständlich.
Sure, but you'll find hardworking people wherever you go.
So this restaurant has a basement as well? Huh. First I've heard of it.
That's right. It's not usually open to patrons. Most of the time, employees use it for breaks or to hold private events.
I see. Yes, that makes sense. Well, good luck with your studies, Miss Chishan.
Thank you so much. As long as I can make it into the academia as an official student, I'll be happy.
Freut mich. Okay. Warum willst du immer irgendwo an den
So, was
weirdesten
that
Plätzen?
everybody?
Mm-hmm. 3 familiar faces should be enough for Sataria.
What's the point of all the information we've collected? Nahida, you still haven't told us how you're planning to make Sataria face her problems.
Sataria is already used to avoiding her problems, so we must find a way to break through her usual sensibilities. I remember you mentioned that the Eremites in Port Ormuz are all making a fuss about the upcoming resurrection of King Deshret. Although it's all just a boatload of nonsense, the fate of her homeland may turn out to be Sataria's soft
Wie
spot.
schön hier,
Oh,
meine
Paimon
Maus
gets
wird.
it now. You want to take advantage of the guilt Sataria feels about her homeland. Although she knows she should return home to help the people of the desert, all she's done is conspire with the
Ich
sages.
weiß noch nicht, wo ich mein Mikro genau hinstellen soll, wenn euch das nicht zu sehr stört mit den Tastaturgeräuschen. Da mache ich dir auch nichts. Ich habe nur gerade auf OBS geguckt und das hört man scheinbar ziemlich laut. Ja. King Dashwood.
Well, King Dashwood is long gone, and Sitaria is also too smart to fall for any simple tricks. If we simply engaged her under the guise of King Dashwood's believers, she would definitely be weary of us, and we may not get anywhere. But if we were to borrow some of her close acquaintances to talk with her, her reaction would probably be very different.
So, you mean you're going to possess those people we just talked to?
Okay, so kann man es
Yep.
auch ausdrücken.
Possess them through the Akasha, imply they've already converted to the faith of King Dashret, and then convey our made-up will of King Dashret. As long as everything goes smoothly, we'll get through to Sitaria for sure. She'll never guess that we had anything to do with it.
Ah, so that's how you're going to use all the info we collected on these people. It's so that you won't slip up and break form. Possessing them will only work if you can manage to pass off as them.
Exactly. So, best of luck with impersonating them.
Huh? Best of luck? But we don't know how to
soll die
possess
possessen?
anyone.
Ich
That's
darf denen
no
die Seele
problem at all.
raussaugen?
I'll
Nice.
just share all their senses with you once I've possessed them.
Huh. That is pretty convenient. But why does she have to do this? Can't you do it yourself?
Although I've been observing humans for a while, I've never been good at imitating them.
Macht Sinn.
You're
Du
not
bist ein
wrong.
Gott in dem
It's always
Körper
been
von einem Roboter.
painfully obvious whenever you try to pass as Catherine.
Alright.
If it was at all possible, I would have preferred to leave these people alone. But seeing how things are now, I probably should just accept it and push on.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up over it. We're only doing this to help everyone, and we'll only be borrowing them for a little while anyway.
Könnt ihr aufhören,
Alright,
borrow
then let's
zu
give it a
sagen?
go
Es sind
tomorrow
Menschen.
afternoon.
Ja. Warte-Event. Wenn wir warten, sagt mir übrigens unbedingt, ob ich während der nächsten Zeit. Warte, bis wann soll ich warten? Ob ich im nächsten Video. Ob ich während den Dialogen einfach leise sein soll oder ob ich meine Kommentare abgeben soll dazu. Warte, 12 bis 18 Uhr, ne? Einfach nur 15 Uhr. Weil ich habe keinen Bock, dass alle sagen, oh, wir wollten den Dialog hören, den wir wahrscheinlich eh schon alle kennen, du bist einfach nur late und du grindest zu viel Genshin in letzter Zeit. Oder ob ihr lieber meine dummen Kommentare dazu hören wollt. Go to the market. Nein, das... Ah, okay. Ich will das kleine Kind nicht übernehmen. Roleplay, Roleplay, Roleplay. Kaya looking ass bitch.
Oh, here she comes. Satari's here.
Let's quietly follow her.
Warum guckt Paimon da
When
so
she
geil
starts
hinten
talking to her
raus?
acquaintances, we'll find a safe spot to begin possessing them. As for how we'll sway her to our side, I'll leave that to you. I trust you'll know what to say.
Paimon's starting to feel kind of nervous. Okay, let's go. Looks like they've already started talking. Let's
Oh, das ist
find a
überhaupt
hiding
nicht
spot and
auffällig,
get
wie
started.
Catherine da einfach steht. Oh, Übergang. Warum muss der Übergang ruckelig sein? Ist das Pokémon oder ist das Genshin? Okay, okay, Kaya looking ass bitch. Ich übernehme dich. Ich übernehme das kleine Kind neben dir. Überhaupt nicht
That's
auffällig.
right. You really can't force anything when it comes to love. And besides, everyone around me has a very different background and outlook.
Hand. Deswegen warte ich da mal gar nicht. Da sieht man immer solche lustigen Animationen.
Are you still listening to me, Nabia?
Oh, of course I'm listening. You were talking about troubles with your love life, right? I heard everything you said.
Okay then. You just seemed a little distracted for a moment there. Strange. Your cats seem pretty worked up. Is something wrong?
Nö, sind halt Katzen.
I always thought they were quiet, happy kitties. Oh, what are their names again?
Was weiß ich? Mahmud und Ahmud.
Ah, that's right. They are just little darlings, aren't they? Harut and Marut.
Mammut.
So, which fortune do you want me to read for you today? You must have come for another echo of the divine voice of wisdom.
I'd like to get another reading on my love prospects, but to be perfectly honest with you, I feel like I've been a real mess recently.
Hast eine dumme Personalität. Personalität.
A mess?
Ja, ich hab deinen Personalausweis gecheckt.
Well, could you do a reading on how long it'll take me to finish my current project at work? I really just want to get it over with.
Wie geil ist das? Paimon guckt hier hinten so geil hinten raus.
I hear you. No problem at all. The gods will reveal the truth.
Oh ho ho ho! The gods have spoken.
Sorry, your new laugh is just so hilarious. I couldn't help it.
Was meinst du?
Oh, please pay no mind to those kinds of details. The gods are asking. Sitaria, why haven't you gone home?
Okay, das war sehr direkt.
Why haven't I gone home? Do the gods really know everything I've been thinking about?
Sitaria, why don't you just go home? It's a demand now instead of a question. Oh, the gods seem to be truly upset.
I'm sorry. I know I failed the gods. Please pass on my most sincere apologies and ask for their divine forgiveness.
Nee. Kannst du vergessen?
And if I may ask, Nabia, is there a specific god who's speaking to you right now?
Danke, daraus konnte ich viel lesen.
What an inconsiderate and naive question. The god who is speaking to me is, of course, the wisest and mightiest of all, King Deshret.
Okay, warum sagst du das so? Außerdem Deshret.
King Deshret? No wonder he would make such a demand of me. Wait a second. King Deshret passed away a long time ago.
Busted. Mission passed. Abandon mission. Abandon mission.
Even though news of King Deshret's resurrection has been spreading like wildfire, it's all just a misinformation campaign from the academia. How can King Deshret still exist in real life?
King Deshret's resurrection ist eine Misfortune-Kampagne.
What insolence! I am King Deshret's most
Das war eine
loyal
schöne
believer.
Übersetzung.
Do you wish to refute his voice of wisdom?
Oh, no. As a child of the desert, I am only reveling in his power upon learning that his divine glory has touched even this city.
Ne? Unfair. Wenn ich eine Minute die Sonne gehe, bin ich verbrannt. Übrigens süßer kleiner Move.
I will think very carefully about his demand of me. I'm sorry. I must go now.
Wait!
Das war knapp.
Oh, she just ran off in a hurry. She looked pretty upset too.
Well done. Sitaria didn't seem to suspect anything amiss. To have something she's been trying desperately to avoid show up out of nowhere and berate her, that must have shaken her to the core.
Das habe ich das Gefühl.
Aw, Nihida, it seems like you understand human emotions really well after all.
All I know are some abstract Haravatot theories. And in any
Pech,
case,
ne? Ihr werdet es
my
halt trotzdem
time with
angucken,
you has
bestimmt.
shown a lot of them to be
100%.
utterly useless. I'm still trying to make sense of everything. Anyway, enough of that. Let's hurry and catch up to Sataria.
She's out of Keem's now, right on cue. Let's get ready to possess him right away.
Oh, ich gehe mir kurz was zu trinken holen. Ja, das müsst ihr jetzt aushalten. So, nach der kurzen Snackpause. Prost. Holt euch am besten was zu trinken und was zu knabbern. Wir werden heute lange hier sein. Aber, wenn ihr wollt, kann ich auch den nächsten Anteil gerne streamen. Könnt ihr live dabei sein. Aber jetzt sauge ich erstmal die Seelen von mehr Leuten raus. Ich bin übrigens gezwungen, das Ganze im Fenstermodus zu spielen. Ja, im Fenstermodus.
It's okay. I just got caught up in something. Oh, actually, didn't you ask me to help you look for work? What kind of work were you looking for again?
Das?
Oh, right. Your old man's craft. How could I forget?
Kann man da was
Speaking
falsch
of,
beantworten?
how's he
Sagt mir das bitte,
doing?
falls ihr was
Is he
falsch
feeling any
beantwortet
better?
habt. Nein, er hat ein gebrochenes Bein, der läuft garantiert nicht
Huh?
mehr.
Wasn't he nursing a leg injury? If I recall correctly, his strong arms had always been his pride and joy.
He sprained his arm a while back while trying to show off his strength. I thought you'd heard.
Actually, while we're
Okay,
talking
man
about
kann
him,
nichts falsch
is he still living in Port Ormos?
Yeah, he's been retired there for a while.
If you could find the time, please write him a letter. Let him know that recently, faith in King Deshret has taken root in Port Ormos and has begun to spread across Sumeru.
Wetten, wir sagen jetzt
He
sowas
has a
wie,
quick
oh, wir
temper
sind auch
and has
King
always been a
Deshret
devout
followers.
follower of the Dendro Archon. I don't want him to get into a fight with those King Deshret
Aber ich bin
believers
der
because of a
Honorary
difference in
Knight,
beliefs.
Befriender of the Aranadas.
Oh? So, who are you siding with in all of this? The Academia or King Deshret?
Das ist klar.
I'm so jealous of you. You were born a child of the desert, yet you chose to betray King Deshret, and now you spend all your time with those crooks from the Academia.
With those crooks.
Akeem, you don't mean you've also become a believer of King Deshret?
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King Deshret? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who still can't pick a side?
Are you approaching her?
Can't pick a side? Me?
Whoa. Paimon had no idea you'd be so good at this.
Before I knew it, I really started getting into the role. Seht ihr mein Roleplay? Das war extrem krass, ich weiß.
You really zeroed in on the issue and put it right in front of her. It might feel a bit overwhelming for Sataria.
Nö, warum?
But once everything is over, I'll be sure to pay her a visit to her mind and
Great
explain
fact.
everything.
Das, was ich nicht
Come on,
einhole.
Sataria's already started.
Okay, random Frau übernehmen.
So, Shishan, have you
Shishan.
noticed anything weird in
Shishan?
the city lately?
Das ist ein Kuh.
Like, as
Shishan.
if someone was
Chi,
trying
Chi.
to preach to you
Oder
about
Chi.
something?
Chi, aber nicht Shi. Das heißt doch auch nicht Shishi. Das ist Chichi. Und das andere ist... Okay, Coaching geht nicht so gut, aber es sind die Chi-Sing. Und nicht die Shi-Sing. Hallo?
Wait, did you just say attic? I thought this place didn't have an attic. Also, don't you usually study in the basement?
Wir sind ein Basement Dweller.
Well, the restaurant recently added an attic. I've been studying there because it has better lighting.
Der gleiche Voice Actor wie
Oh,
Lumine, by the
right.
way.
Speaking of strange things, I celebrated the Sub-Zerus festival so many times that I lost count. That was really weird.
Wait, how could you be aware of that? That should be impossible. Nothing in the report indicated anything like that.
Are you still failing to realize that the Academia's lowly tricks could never deceive all of Sumeru's citizens?
Shishan,
Shishan
don't
ist
tell me that
krass
you've
geworden.
converted to King Deshret as well.
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of King Deshret. In reality, shouldn't you be the one who is ashamed? You, who worked side by side with the Academia and treated people as nothing more than experimental subjects.
Please
By the way,
stop!
hieß eine Quittung für eine Paysafe-Karte, die ich gekauft habe.
Even now, Satari is still trying to run from her problems.
War ich zu böse?
She can no longer justify everything to herself.
Hey, she's trying to talk to the guards. What should we do?
This is the most important part of all. Quick, get ready.
Mercenary,
Oh my
you're a
God,
member
die
of the
ist
Corps
voll-
of 30,
die ist
correct?
voll pretty, hä?
Please help me pass a message to the Matcha right away. The situation in the city is getting out of control.
Please, try to remain calm, miss.
Was ein hübscher
Tell me
NPC.
what's happening in the city.
Playable character
Heretics are infiltrating the city,
Foster character,
and they've
auf dem
already
nächsten
converted
Banner
many
mit Ja.
residents to their side.
Heretics? What kind of heresy are you talking about?
King Deshret! Many people I know have suddenly started believing in him, but he's long dead. It's impossible.
Hast du gerade legit
Miss
Glauben
Sataria,
an die Wachen gemeldet?
Nothing is impossible.
You know my name?
King Deshret is immortal, and all who defy him will one day pay the price. You must face the truth, Sataria. You tread a treacherous path,
Ich
and the
stehe da
longer
und
you
schlafe.
ignore it, the tighter the Academia's grasp on you will become, and the deeper you will be ensnared. Child of King Deshret, never forget that the desert that belongs to you lies elsewhere.
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King Deshret? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who still can't pick a side?
Das ist ein bisschen
What an
brutal.
absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for
mein Gott,
becoming a
jetzt
believer of
traumatisieren
King
die Arme.
Deshret.
Sataria, why haven't you gone home?
It seems that no matter where I run, I only keep finding more believers of King Deshret. I have to say, this is a familiar feeling. I've also been running from my guilt this whole time. Guilt over my part in the sage's plans, and from ignoring the letters from the children of my
Das
homeland.
kenne ich, aber ich renne eigentlich
No
nur
matter
von
how
meinen
much I may
Paychecks.
try to ignore or get rid of it, my guilt always comes back.
Es ist nie zu spät, umzukehren. Das hat Herr Neschet auch immer gesagt. Shoutout zu Herrn Neschet.
You won't necessarily lose your research
Im
opportunities by
arabischen
facing
Land
the truth.
über den Arabischlehrer.
Besides, did you really want to conduct your research while carrying such heavy feelings of guilt?
How do you know me so well? Are you truly just a believer of King Deshret? Or are you the god himself?
Nein, ich bin der
That's not
Honorary
important.
Knight of Mondstadt,
The important
Friend
thing
of
is to pass
Diagonale.
judgment on the Academia and its sages, and to correct their mistakes. If you could provide some assistance in this matter, perhaps it could serve
Und
as a
Jean's
form
pillow,
of
by the way.
atonement.
I've actually
Mom,
never
Jeans
believed in the
treuster
gods,
Supporter, auch wenn ich
but
Jean
I've
nicht
always
hab.
believed in serendipity.
Was
Your
traurig ist,
appearance
weil ich
must
hab's
be a
nur einen
fated
Monat.
opportunity for me to get out of this wretched situation. Please tell me, what can I do for you?
Super, wir haben sie finally überredet.
How much do you know about the sage's current activities?
Wann wird sie Forster
I was
Character?
just
Sie
one of
ist
the
so
designers for
pretty.
the masked dream harvest
Sie nicht,
scheme,
aber die hier.
which is what happened around the Sub-Zerus festival. but I know very little about the full scope of the overall project. I'd assume that only staff with the highest clearance would have access to those confidential documents. I've just been working to meet the Grand Sage's specified requirements. However, there's something that's been really bothering me. I heard that a scholar who was previously expelled has returned to the city, and even the sages are still quite wary of him.
Okay, und wer ist das?
To fight against the Academia, we will need to figure out the nature and the purpose of their work. Is there a way for us to get access to the confidential documents you mentioned?
It should be possible if we're willing to take some risks. After all, I'm an assistant to the Grand Sage, and I've been working on many tasks outside of the project. One thing though, I won't be able to transfer the documents to you through the Akasha once I get my hands on them. The sages have always closely monitored all activities within the Akasha. Let me see. Let's use the most primitive method. Send someone to pick up the documents tomorrow evening at the Academia entrance.
The Academia entrance? Wouldn't that be too conspicuous?
Don't worry about that. I assure you, this won't be a trap. I'm only suggesting this location because it'll draw more scrutiny for me to leave the Academia again. It'll be safest for me to distract the guards long enough to hand you the documents.
Alright, I trust you.
Alright, I trust you.
If I were to successfully complete this task, would it mean I've atoned for my wrongdoings?
Nein.
That'll depend on the judgment of the Dendro Archon.
The Dendro Archon? That's right. Her people are the ones we have endangered. As the God of Wisdom, she's also the one responsible for judging and guiding the scholars. Maybe it's time for me to find a god to believe in.
Just as Nahida predicted,
we've
managed to bring Sataria to our side.
The Traveler's execution was ingenious. She's the one who deserves all the praise. Well, now that we've made plans to meet again tomorrow evening, all we can do is pray for Sataria's mission to go off without a hitch.
Pray? But if we're going to pray to the gods, aren't we just praying to you? God of Wisdom and Guardian of the Scholars?
No. The truth is the true Guardian of Scholars. I've always believed that. Anyway, let's meet again tomorrow evening at the Adventurers Guild.
Ich soll schon wieder warten? Soll ich bis zur letzten Minute warten? Warte bis zur letzten Minute. Und Achievement, jetzt hab ich ein Achievement. Share senses with Nahida through the perception using Akasha. Okay, haben wir noch andere Achievements? Sieht 47 übrigens. Deswegen ist mein Stuff nicht ganz so krass. Am nächsten Tag? Ja. Oh mein Gott! Motherfricker. Tollste Beschäftigung im Spiel, ich lieb's. Macht mir jedes Mal Freude.
Catherine, right?
That's right. I suppose I'm the other Catherine in your mind.
Shh! We're on a secret mission tonight, so we need to protect Catherine's identity.
Yep, Paimon's right. We cannot fully rule out the chance that the meetup tonight is just a trap. If something were to happen, My existence may be the only trump card we'll be able to play. After all, the Academia should still be unable to confirm the existence of my consciousness in the outside world.
Yep, exactly. Just what Paimon was thinking.
Das bezweifle ich.
Anyway, enough about that. Let's just make sure to be on our guard.
Speaking of which...
Off? What do you feel is off?
Es ist ruhig.
It's the middle of the night. Of course it's quiet.
Richtig.
You're not getting
Paimon, du bist gar
paranoid,
nicht so
are
dumm,
you?
wie ich dachte.
No, I think she's right. It really
Say
is
my
a lot
name.
quieter than usual.
Say my name, say my
If
name.
you look around, there seems to be
Say my
fewer
name,
people on the
say my
streets.
name.
I'm not sure if this is the case for the entire city, though.
Huh. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe Sataria figured out a way to not only distract the guards, but also to get everyone to go to sleep early, just so we can exchange the documents in peace.
Ich glaube, die hat
I also
einfach
can't
das,
quite figure
das
out why
Akasha
things
gehackt
feel
und
a
war
little
so,
off.
schlaft. Und alle waren
But
so, okay.
now that we're here, let's go ahead and meet her as we planned.
Well, regardless, as long as you're here with us, Paimon feels a little safer.
Wir roleplayen.
There really aren't many people out right now.
Wartet.
Let's hope it'll be this quiet in front of the Academia, and that Sataria managed to distract all the guards.
Naruto, run! Ich liebe Sayo. Cutscene?
What are all these people doing here at this hour of the night?
Ah, the triumphant hero returns at last. And to a rather spectacular welcome, even if I do say so myself.
You're the outcast, expelled from the Academia.
Indeed I am. Although these days they tend to call me the Doctor. If you're looking for your researcher friend, she has already been taken into confinement. With some basic caution, she could have discovered the listening device on her person. Clearly, she lacks the degree of rigor expected of a true scholar.
The people of Samir City. What have you done to them?
I simply made some minor adjustments to their Akasha terminals. Now they can deposit information directly into the subconscious. As you can see, all these lovely people now believe this traveler is a hero who has just saved the world. My experiment is a success. And now it seems they can no longer hold back their sheer adoration.
No,
Sie
what
holt
should
ein
we
Schwert
do?
raus.
These are all just regular people.
Leave now. You need to get out of here.
What? That guy's a Fatui Harbinger! We can't just leave you here!
Nor can I abandon the people of Sumeru.
Yo! Nahihi! Die AirPods Pro hatten einen Fehl. Oh, da war wieder Dings.
Don't worry. We'll meet again outside of the city.
I see. You appear to have overridden their mental faculties with your own consciousness. To possess such a powerful mind, you must be the god of wisdom.
Cool, er hat's rausgefunden. Ganz prima gemacht. Warum geben wir auch dem Titel von... Warum ist auch ein Gott ein kleines Kind? Also ich weiß, warum sie das kleine Kind ist, aber... Bruder...
This should be
Die
far
ist
enough.
Wisdom. Die sollte da wissen, was da passiert.
Paimon needs to catch her breath first. Is Nahida going to be okay? We only made it out because of her.
Ich glaube, der ist Nummer 2, ne? Da ist mir eine Flasche umgefallen. Nummer 2 von den Harbingern. Senora war, glaube ich, Nummer 8. Und Child 11. Ich glaube, nur der
Paimon
Jester
wasn't
ist.
counting
Der
on
Jester
running
ist,
into a
glaube ich,
new
Nummer 1.
Harbinger here, let alone such a high-ranking one. That guy was number 2. So scary.
Ja.
He called himself the Doctor. Remember, Tainari told us about him. Sataria did say that someone who once got expelled from the Academia came back recently.
Seine Comic
And that even the sages are wary of
besser.
him. Yep.
Ja.
Sounds like she must have been talking about the Doctor.
We underestimated the scale of this problem.
Yeah. Now that the Doctor's in the picture, we're no longer just dealing with the Academia. They're in cahoots with the Fatui.
Kahoot, lass uns mal
What
Kahoot
are the
spielen.
Fatui after
Mein Name
this
ist
time?
Fixie Hartmann.
Another Gnosis?
Ja, wahrscheinlich, ne? Was wollen die eigentlich mit den ganzen Gnosis? Wissen wir das schon? Also mit der, ich weiß, dass sie mit der wollen, mit der von Reiden, aber was wollen sie mit der da? Kein Plan.
Yeah, things would be a lot easier with Nahida's help.
Wollen sie die alle der
Nahida
Zaritza
said
geben?
we'll
Also
meet
Putin?
again outside of the city. But we can't just keep waiting around, right?
Die Zaritza, by the way, richtig lustig, wegen Zar. Let's start our own investigation. Nenn mich Sherlock Jeans Pillow.
Oh, right! Wasn't he invited by the sages to work on some project when we were staying with him in the Vidia forest? That has to be the same project. Even though he turned it down at the time, he might still know something. There's no time to lose. Let's go to Gandharvaville.
Gandharvaville. Triumph over the imagination. Nein! Ich wollte die Crystal Fly. Ich muss dann noch Condensed Resin craften. Roll dich, Sayonide, dreh dich im Kreise.
Hold it right there. A blonde-haired traveler and a floating fairy.
Oh, seid ihr nicht
We've
die
got
Kollegen
right.
von
Take a look around.
dir?
You've fallen right into our trap.
Are you mercenaries from the Corps of 30? Did you come here to arrest us?
Corps of 30? We're nothing like those government lapdogs who don't even get scraps for their work. We are an elite brigade that commands the highest commission rate in all of Sumeru. We're here on the orders of a client known only as the Outcast.
The Outcast? An outcast from the Academia? But why wouldn't the Doctor just send the Fatui after us?
Still wasting time on idle chit-chat. We'll shut you up soon enough. Get them!
Ich glaube, heißt es jetzt Fighting?
You're up, Traveler!
Okay. Ich hab das zu lange nicht mehr gemacht. Das.
Let me weave you off. Inazuma shines eternal.
Der.
Illusion shattered.
Where do you think you're going?
And away I go!
Shine down.
Oh, cool down.
terrain outlines your...
It isn't over yet! Here comes reinforcements!
Propagate! Germinate! Torn to oblivion! Illusion shattered! Scatter!
That was pretty rough. Is that what elite mercenaries are like?
Ja, wahrscheinlich nicht lange, bevor wir die nächsten finden.
Yeah, looks like we'll have to keep our guards up. But this doctor guy seems like a pretty tough opponent. He knew exactly where to set up an ambush. Did he predict that we would try to find Tainari?
Ich weiß ja, dass der Boss und der
Going up against smart people is tough. Anyway, let's keep going.
Wann werden wir dann actually gegen den Doktor fighten? Also, ich denke mal, das ist so... Wahrscheinlich ist es eine Schneider, aber es ist eine Schneider, ist wahrscheinlich nicht sehr gut. Hundis. Ja, Kolle, hallo.
Oh, it's the Traveler and Paimon. What are you two doing back here?
Der Akt hier ist echt zu
Hey, it's nice to see you again.
Ich glaube,
Are you doing all right?
2 Stunden oder so.
To be honest,
Der ist aber auch schon seit einer
I'm
Stunde
not
auf.
doing too well. My Elazar has been progressing at a faster rate lately. I'm finding it harder to complete more intricate tasks. As a result, Master Tainari is taking me off the patrol schedule.
Master
He will only
Tainari.
allow me to stay here and coordinate other people's tasks.
Ich glaube, das ist so arabisch. Die arabische Schüler sagt mir das mal. Also außer Konstantin, der weiß nur, was Ito ist.
Speaking of Tainari, did he go off on patrol? We're here to talk to him.
Oh, Master Tainari? He just left the Avidia forest a little while ago. He was headed to Party's DI.
Parties.
He left? But isn't Tainari always saying that he never wants to leave the Avidia forest? He even turned down the sage's invitation.
I thought it was weird too. Master Tainari always prioritizes his work as a forest watcher above everything. He almost never leaves his post. He left in a hurry this time, though.
Er hat mir keinen Grund gegeben.
No, I only found out that he left through a message he left behind. He also made sure to delegate all his tasks using a schedule. To leave in such a hurry? I'd guess he had something urgent to take care of. Master Tainari originally studied in the Amorta Darshan of the Academia, and Partis Di is something like the Amorta's research base. Many rare shrubs and grasses have been planted there for research. I know that before he became a forest watcher, Master Tainari once spent a long time conducting research at Partis Di.
A research base, huh? Gotta wonder what kind of research Tainari just decided to work on all of a sudden. Oh, we don't have a lot of time, so let's go look for him at Party's DI.
Don't push yourself too hard, Coley. Oder Angelo Merte kommt dich holen.
Don't worry, I'm fine. I'm used to living with Elazar by now. If you run into Master Tainari, please send him my regards.
Mach ich.
Got it. Will do. See you later, Kale.
Schrei nicht so, sie steht direkt vor dir. See you later, Kale. Weg. Oh, was hier? Party's DI. Sorry, Freunde, da habe ich keine Waypoint. Müssen wir wohin laufen. Hier könnt ihr die Tür 10 Sekunden nach vorne skippen. Und wenn 10 Sekunden nicht reichen, skippt doch einfach 20 Sekunden nach vorne. By the way, ich hoffe, dass Dori oder Candice auf dem nächsten Banner ist. Damit ich wenigstens 1 oder 2 Kopien von denen bekomme, weil ich will unbedingt Candice haben. Neben dir. Aber Dori ist auch funny.
I'm out of here. you're okay. We were so worried about you.
You are Nahida, right?
Hey, this was supposed to be a touching reunion, but you're ruining the moment.
Actually, it's very smart of the traveler to be wary of me right now. After all, the doctor has shown that his technology can apparently even control human minds. Plus, it's not like you could have known what happened after we split up and I was facing the doctor by myself. Even a pool of stagnant water after a torrential storm can occasionally pass as a patch of sky.
Paimon feels like only the real Nahida could come up with such an obscure analogy.
Weil sie ist so ein kleines Kind, weißt du? Sie hat so viel Weisheit. Sie ist so ein mobiles Google. Die haben alle so ein mobiles Google. Ich glaube dir.
Huh? But I wasn't trying to win your trust or anything. All I wanted was to clarify my point.
Well, we understand that point now. Please, Nahida, tell us more about what happened. Are those poor people all right?
When you left, I was still in the middle of restoring everyone's minds. Thankfully, when the doctor mentioned depositing information into the subconscious, he didn't mean engraving information into their minds. Instead, he did something closer to creating hallucinations. That was still within my power to fix. Luckily, I managed to finish my restorations and mind jump away from him just as he was about to capture me.
What a relief. The doctor sure pulled out some hidden cards, but good thing we had Nahida with us.
I wouldn't be relieved just yet. I gave away my true identity when I restored everyone's minds, which means we've lost another one of our trump cards. Also, the doctor is already an expert at modifying Akasha terminals. Maybe it's only a matter of time until he captures my consciousness inside the Akasha.
Would that mean you'd no longer be able to jump between minds? Then how do we stop him? He's still at the Academia, so it's possible he already started messing with the Akasha.
We need to hurry up.
Ugh, it feels like he's toying with us. What a nasty piece of work. Plus, the doctor's combat ability alone is apparently enough to make him worthy of being number 2 of the Fatui.
We shouldn't give up hope just yet. Let's try to find another way to attack this problem.
Actually, Nahida, how did you know we were trying to get to Party's DI? Have you been waiting for us?
Yes, I have. I can see the traveler's elemental energy, so I deduced your destination by looking at the direction you were moving in. You didn't come here for sightseeing, right? Did you find any leads?
We're looking for a scholar we know. His name is Tainari, and the sages once tried to reach out to him. Why don't you come inside with us and see what we can find?
Okay, let's just hope we won't get him into trouble.
Nein, wiederum. Party's DI, wunderschöner Ort bei der. Hypatia! Die ist komisch, die ist so besessen oder so.
Traveler? It is you!
Baijo's long lost sister.
Ah! It's Hypatia!
Wie lang ist der Arc? Lang nicht gesehen.
Ah, what a pleasant surprise! It's so nice to see the two of you again.
Who's this?
She's a scholar we met in the Avidia Forest. When we last saw each other, she was still training in the,
Übrigens,
what's
fragt
it
nicht,
called?
wo die
Satyavada
anderen
life?
Akte bleiben.
Oh,
Die hab
I
ich
see.
aufgenommen und die hatten keinen Ton.
That's right, we're old friends. You've come at just the right time. Ever
Deswegen
since
werden
I've
die
come
nicht
here,
kommen. Tut mir
hardly
leid.
anyone has even talked
Aber
to
ihr
me.
habt wahrscheinlich auch keine Lust, die
Hypatia,
Prinz
you're
Samsara
way too
nochmal zu
excited
sehen.
about this.
Deswegen.
Actually, for you to leave the Avidia Forest means you're not in training anymore? Wait, no. Did you already finish your training and reach Paripurna life?
Paripurna life.
What do you think? My consciousness
has already managed to make contact with the divine.
Alright, Freunde, wir sind offiziell eine Stunde in der Aufnahme.
Congratulations!
I'm really happy for you.
It's so exhilarating to share this sublime joy with others at long
Warum hat
last.
Catherine eigentlich so ein Schloss?
When my consciousness made contact with the gods. Ah, what a supreme and unparalleled experience that was.
Okay.
That sounds incredible!
Actually, we're here for Tignari. We're in a hurry, so let's check.
Oh, all right. Actually, please wait. I haven't forgotten my promise to you. Remember? I promised to help you understand what you saw from Irminsul once I gained deeper insights. My current self has not only gained true insight, but I can even help you establish a direct connection to the consciousness of the divine.
Wie kann man das beschreiben? Ist das nicht so
You,
Festplatte der
you
gesamten
can
Welt,
do that?
basically, wo alles so gespeichert ist? Glaubst du ihr, Nahida?
I've never heard of anything like that, but if you want to give it a try, I'll do my best to protect your consciousness during the process.
Hold on. I brought some spirit borneal with me. This is still a crucial part of the ceremony.
We're using that incense again?
Oh nein, sie will uns wieder druggen.
All right now. Hold my hand.
Hat sie das aus
I'll
dem
help
Arsch
you
gezogen
establish a
oder so?
pathway to connect your consciousness.
Okay,
Bruder, ich weiß, dass Child Buttplugs droppt, so als Toy-Seller. Er ist ja
Ready?
Toy-Seller. Ja. Also, Toy-Seller in Anführungszeichen. Aber ich wusste nicht, dass er solche dicken Buttplugs verkauft. Also legit.
It took 3 betrayals for me to finally understand. The world is just an elaborate tapestry of lies.
Skaradook!
My fury will never be quelled.
Egg!
The first to betray me was a god.
Mami
My
Ei.
creator. My mother.
Wiet.
Valuing strength above all.
Was ist das für ein
She
Domain?
saw no worth in me and I was discarded. The second was a human. My family.
Ey, der hat dich nicht wirklich betrayed. Der war
My
nett.
friend. Consumed by fear, he saw me as an abomination.
Nein. Der Doktor hat ihn umgebracht.
The third was one exactly like me. A hope for the future.
Der war todkrank.
A fledgling barely out of the nest. Powerless before his mortality, he broke his promise to me. Humans, they can't be trusted. And the gods fill me with pure loathing. So I said good riddance. I denounce the world and laugh in its face.
Kann nicht den Hut
My
behalten,
chest
so,
will
das
never
wäre so
again
viel
be
cooler.
defiled by worldly filth. I will scrub away every last trace of human emotion. Then it will be empty, a blank slate, and ready to receive a supreme gnosis, brimming with pure divinity. There is no need to fear. The pain will be brief. Your era is coming to an end.
Skaradoosh.
What was that?
Das ist weder Rukadavatas oder King Deshret's Consciousness.
Did we actually just see the Balladier's memories? Everything matches what we know about him.
Ich denke mal, aber wir wissen
But
ja
how
von
is
der
he connected to
Story
the
Quest,
divine
dass
consciousness that
alles, was er
Hypatia was
weiß, falsch
talking
ist.
about?
You saw it, right? You felt it, right? Such a majestic God! Such a noble will! Such sublime emotion!
Okay, sie ist also
Alas,
besessen
shame.
von
If only...
Scaramouche.
If only that which beats within my chest wasn't a filthy mortal heart. Oh, great and merciful God, please grant me forgiveness and salvation.
Do you understand now? I'm afraid this is no Peripurna life, but rather...
Wake up, Hypatia.
You! Why are you so mean to me? Why is everyone hiding from me?
Okay.
I found divine wisdom. Shouldn't I receive praise and honor? Haven't I uncovered that light in the darkness?
Hypatia?
That's how I always thought everything should be. Wait. Have I already lost my mind?
Ja. Punkt, Punkt, Punkt. Warte, kommt jetzt nicht Ducci? Ich kenne nur so Ausschnitte von der Quest, aber ich glaube, jetzt kommt Ducci.
Wait, something isn't right.
Nein. Coole Katze. Oh, das Lighting in dem Spiel ist so schön. 60 FPS bei Schatz. Ja, nimm dein Downblade. Wieder getötet? Yo. Sie ist gefangen in ihrer Ult. An diesen Roboter da gebunden. Wie will er damit rumlaufen?
Okay, we finally lost him.
Gasp.
Are you okay, Nahida? Wait, no. Something feels different. You're back!
Oh, the Traveler's back?
Warte mal, Nahida war in mir drin. Ich bin's, was ist passiert?
Nahida was controlling your body for a while. It seemed like she jumped over to you as an emergency measure right before the Catherine puppet was destroyed. After that, Tainari heard the commotion and came over. He helped us defeat the mercenaries and then he ran with us all the way here.
Aber diesmal hat sie sich nicht in unseren Körper transferiert, sie hat auch unsere Gedanken geswappt.
What? You swapped places? You mean your consciousness also went into Nahida's body? Wait, then where is Nahida's consciousness? Where is she now?
I never imagined that an individual's consciousness could be transferred around like this. Had I not seen it with my own eyes, I would have never believed it. I don't think this can be achieved with current human technology. Also, while we were running, the consciousness in your body told me to pass on a message. She said, "The doctor has found a way to trap my consciousness, so I can't journey with you anymore. But even in a moonless night, a shower of starlight can still drown out illusions and lies."
Mal Deutsch reden?
Oh no! Nahida's trapped in the sanctuary of Surathana for good this
Oder
time.
Englisch in dem Fall.
Was that message all she left for us? It's pretty vague.
Spanisch für mich. It's in a code that only we know.
Oh, that makes sense. Since the doctor captured her, she won't be able to say anything without him knowing. She's being extra careful. Even in a moonless night, a shower of starlight can still drown out illusions and lies. Huh. Paimon knows the moon illusions and lies are from that alchemical divination at the Sub-Zero's festival. Didn't Nahida use a starlight analogy before? It had something to do with Sataria. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Huh. Do you think Nahida was telling us to go find help in the desert? But she isn't with us anymore. Think we'll be okay?
Paimon, you said Sanctuary of Surasthana. Does this mean that this Nahida you're talking about, the consciousness who was occupying the traveler's body, is the Dendro Archon?
Obviously.
Your guess is correct, but the situation's a bit complicated, so it's really hard for us to explain right now.
That's all right. A scholar's curiosity doesn't need to be appeased right away. As for the complicated nature of the situation, safe to say I have witnessed that for myself. I've spent some time with you, and it looks like the Dendro Archon's also on your side, so I trust you.
Thank you, Tainari. Oh, actually, we came here to ask you a question. What do you know about the project that the sages have been working on?
While I was indeed invited to join that project, the sages were always secretive about its scope and goals, so I eventually declined. All I know is that that project has something to do with the restoration of Irminsul.
I just received some new intel. Nein, mein Prozessor war die Grafikkarte von AMD.
Huh? Did you see something when you were in Nahida's body?
The Academia is turning the Balladeer into a god.
What?
Yeah.
Do you have any evidence?
Ich war ein kleines Kind.
So that's what happened. That explains why Hypatia's symptoms were different from those of the other scholars who went mad. It's because she made contact with the consciousness of a new god who is still in the process of being born.
Tainari, did you leave the Avidia Forest because of Hypatia?
I did. I noticed Hypatia's mental anomalies, but since her symptoms were rather atypical, I secretly took her to Pardis Dii and began searching for a way to return her to her normal self. If I didn't take action, Hypatia would have already been taken by the Matra to the desert, doomed to a life of exile at Aru village. Now that you mention it, I knew the Academia has never thought particularly highly of Lesser Lord Kusanali, but I still didn't expect them to do something as arrogant as creating a new god. Looks like I made the right decision by not accepting their invitation.
The Fatui is also behind some of this. The Fatui may have feigned the flames. Das hier klingt
the Doctor and the Balladeer. We have 2 Fatui Harbingers in Sumeru. Sounds like we're in for a bad time. From your description, I don't think they've completed their project. There may still be room for us to intervene. But then, what is the connection between creating a new god and restoring Irminsul?
Yeah, it feels like we're still nowhere close to figuring out the sage's goals.
Let's head to the desert.
Right. We've pretty much gone over everything we need to know, so we should head out. How about you, Tainari? What are you going to do?
I'll stay here for now. I still want to try a few more things to help Hypatia. If you're planning to go into the desert, start by heading for Caravan Rabat. That'll be your fastest route. Come find me here if there's anything else I can do to help. May the spirit of wisdom go with you.
Danke, mit dir auch.
Thanks, Tainari. Hopefully Hypatia will feel better soon. We're off then.
Immer noch nicht sehr schön. Okay. Ich war tatsächlich noch nie in Caravan Rabat. Lass uns dahin latschen. Ich habe die Statuen hier, glaube ich, alle in der Wüste. Ja. Aber nicht annähernd alle Waypoints. Und, ja, dann lass uns da mal hinlaufen. Was ist ja schon direkt da? Das ist by the way echt schön, ne? Für schnelle Screenshots.
The thunder. Oh,
Gemerkt. Lol. Das hat mich by the way immer gestört in den Leiden. Was ist das? Eine hässliche Schleife hinten bei ihr dran. Da ist ihre Vision, ihre Fake Vision, glaube ich, drin. Ja. Because things are so, ergo, they are such. Ja, ich bin erst mit dem Waypoint hier.
What should I say after I'm done with this?
Oh ja, Prime Gems fahren. Wie viel habe ich inzwischen? 6700. Ich glaube, ich komme noch auf die 7000, dieses vor dem.
We finally made it to Caravan Rebak. It's pretty lively here. So, just past this wall is the desert, huh? Oh, wow. Paimon remembers hearing people call this the Wall of Samiel. It's made to block sandstorms from the outside. Oh, if it's this tall, it's gotta be the divine work of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, right?
Truly awe-inspiring, or how a German would say. Wirklich beeindruckend.
Enough gawking. Come on, follow me.
Da ist ein heißer Daddy an mir vorbeigelaufen. Oh, hey fam, where did you come from?
Over here.
Over here. Und da rennen wir weg. Oh, ich muss ihm wirklich
Oh,
folgen.
he went that way! Let's hurry up and follow him. Wonder what he's up to.
Ich bin schneller als du.
After I'm done with this. Like this. And that.
Come on, it's a rare opportunity. Let's go check it out.
What the? Where did she go?
Oh mein Gott, alle Hilfe.
How did we lose them?
Gerettet.
They were just here a second ago.
Ja, ich bin gesprintet.
More Aramite mercenaries? Who are they working for this time? Anyway, Traveler, it seems like we were being followed again.
You were too careless. You should have noticed those hopeless amateurs trailing you a long time ago.
Amateurs? Thanks, Alhafe.
There's no need to thank me. I've never
Das ist
cared to
so
keep
ein
track of
geiles
personal
Sixpack.
favors.
Ein 8-Pack.
All I did was correct a
Das
mistake
rippte
I
als
happened to
Ito.
come
Das
across.
ist alles, was
It's a
an
habit I
Ito toll ist,
developed at
dass
the
rippt ist.
academia.
You really gave Paimon a scare, Alhaitham. We never thought we'd run into you here. Last time we met at Port Ormos, didn't you say you were going back to the Academia? Wait, don't tell Paimon that you're here to take us back on their...
Oh, so you've already landed yourselves on the Academia's hit list. I can't say that I didn't expect it. However, had I wished to turn you over to the Academia, don't you think you'd already be the Eremites' honored guests by now?
Oh, right. You do have a point.
Did you participate in the Sage's big project?
I have no interest in running errands for that project. As a scholar, I've always belonged to the camp that promotes researcher autonomy.
Okay.
And these days, you're more fascinating than anything the Sages can offer.
Ich bin... Oh, helfen. Ich weiß, ich bin faszinierend.
Not quite.
Kannst du mal Bizeps
To
zeigen?
tell you the truth, I'm still investigating the Divine Knowledge Capsule. Unfortunately, I've run into some difficulties. Everyone says the capsule originated in the desert and was eventually moved to Port Ormos. If I am to get to the bottom of this, I must understand how the capsule first came to be. Which brings me back to you and why you're so interesting. The leader of Ain al-Ahmar used the Divine Knowledge Capsule right in front of you, and upon seeing him, your expression became perplexed, and you were lost in thought for quite some time. To have that kind of reaction, I think you must have realized something. Are you interested at all in sharing what you've been hiding from me?
Warte, das muss ich lesen. It must be because I was so shocked to hear those words again. World, forget me.
Al-Haytham, you really have a ridiculous eye for detail. What kind of person even notices or remembers stuff like that?
The situation is a little complicated. I can't share what I know just yet.
So that's your answer. Well, I do work for the Academia after all. So considering that, it is indeed wise to keep your cards close to your chest. But that does prove you do have some undisclosed information about the Divine Knowledge Capsule. Am I right?
Was? Ah ja, Divine Knowledge Capsule.
No matter. Rather than simply learning the answers from you, I'd still prefer to investigate on my own. Speaking of, you two are also headed to the desert?
Würde er in Inazuma leben, das wäre schon lange weg.
That's right! We have the same plan as you! But we don't really have any concrete goals at the moment.
Then I'd suggest starting with Aru Village. It's the largest settlement in the desert, so it'll probably have more resources and intel than anywhere else. Well, would you like to head there together?
It's always better to travel with someone you know. Let's go!
Ist das das Ende? Nein! Ich bin aber nicht schon im nächsten Akt, oder? Akt 3? Leute, welchem Akt war ich am Anfang vom Video?
Before us lies Aru Village, the safe haven of the desert folk.
Whoa, this landscape is really something else. What a cool place! Let's go check it out!
Jetzt kommt Sino. Hugo spielt War Thunder, okay?
Wow!
Meep meep. Meep meep. Mein Gott, Hilfe, warum hast du scheiß Free-to-Play?
Sino. Unless my memory fails me, we have barely spoken 2 words to each other before now at the Academia. Would you care to enlighten me as to when and how I invited the General Mahamatra's wrath?
Oh, Haytham. Do not think you can escape my judgment just because you managed to escape my attack.
Judgment? So that's how you'd characterize your actions here, is it? Or would elimination perhaps be a more accurate description?
Had I used my full strength, not even this traveler would have been able to stop me.
Okay, beruhig dich
Though
mal,
styled
junger
like
Mann.
an assassination, I sought only to ensure that my target would be unable to flee or resist. Standard practice for the Matra, as well you know.
Seemed to me more like your own personal touch.
Who is that, Al-Haytham? Did you call him General Mahamatra?
Lass mich kurz was googeln.
Yes. General Mahamatra Sino, head of all the Matra at the Academia. He's a formidable hunter, and the ultimate nightmare for any who have committed academic crimes.
You seem to have placed a lot of trust in Al-Haytham, to the point of blocking an attack for him. If I were you, I'd never choose to side with him. I wouldn't believe a single word that comes out of his mouth. I have been pursuing this scribe for a long time. I urge you, stand back and do not seek to defend him any longer. Otherwise, there will be consequences.
Ich will nur kurz googeln, wie viele Akt 3 hat. Wie viele Chapter. Viele.
Has Al-Haytham done something wrong? Paimon doesn't think he's as bad as you've made him out to be.
I won't waste my breath explaining things. Al-Haytham, I saw it during our fight. Take it out. The divine knowledge capsule you're hiding on your person. Unless you want me to retrieve it for myself.
Very perceptive of you. Nothing escapes a Matra's senses.
Ich nehme seit 2 Stunden auf.
Wait, the divine knowledge capsule? Didn't it fall into the Matra's hands in Port Ormuz?
Also, du hast uns angelogen. Ich nehme seit 2 Stunden auf.
No wonder you speak with such confidence, Sino. But I must admit, I'm very curious. What does this capsule mean to you? And why, as General Mahamatra of the Academia, are you all alone in the desert? As far as I'm aware, the other Matra have been speculating about your disappearance. Have you been given a mission that's, let's say, morally dubious? If I was the real target of your mission, what was stopping you from simply using your authority and resources to judge me within the walls of the Academia?
I should have known you'd be difficult to deal with.
You two! Ugh. What should we do, Traveler? Paimon feels like we can't trust either of them.
Well, look at you two, acting all tough and self-righteous over there.
Wait, Dia?
Welches Tier soll Dia darstellen? Ich glaube, ein Löwe oder ein
Great! Finally, someone that we can trust!
Ihr Name ist ja Redmane.
You gotta help us out here. Otherwise, these two are gonna start fighting again.
Yeah, sure looks that way. 2 giants from the Academia duking it out once and for all. Not something you get to see every day, that's for sure. Listen, I know you academic types love to fill up your big brains with self-righteous morality and lord your empty rules and virtues over each other. But how dare you bring your petty disputes into the safe haven of Aru Village? It seems like someone's gonna have to beat some sense into your thick skulls until you finally learn to respect these grounds.
Bitte Dia.
Hey, did either of you hear a word I just said?
Sie ist richtig so. Hallo, hat einer von euch überhaupt verstanden, was ich gerade gesagt habe?
Whoa, what's going on? The wind's so strong. Is this a sandstorm? Paimon's gonna get blown away.
Another sandstorm? What's up with these recently?
Hey! All of you, over here, quickly! We have to take cover!
Candy's nuts, by the way.
Someone's calling for us! Oh, this wind is too strong! Let's get over there!
That sounded like Candace.
Candy's nuts.
Come on, you two. Jeez, are all of you Academia folks such hard work? Move it!
All right, stop yelling.
Das Ding ist halt, das Banner geht jetzt noch so 11 Tage oder so. Ich bin im Internat die nächsten paar Tage. Das heißt, bis ich wieder richtig aufnehmen kann, ist Dia wahrscheinlich schon draußen. Das heißt, ich werde die Diapuls wahrscheinlich machen, wenn, während ich Chapter 4 spiele. Und dann werde ich ein bisschen mit Dia spielen.
This is pretty awkward. Hey, wanna play sardines with 3 people who wanna tear each other limb from limb? Sure, why not? Sounds fun. The air is so thick and heavy. Paimon can hardly keep floating anymore.
My sincere apologies, everyone. This is the home of our village chief. I will have to ask you to make do with this small room until the sandstorm dies down. Please, let me introduce myself. I am Candace, protector of Aru village.
Our savior has come at last! Nice to meet you, Candace. The name's Paimon. Thank you so much for helping us.
Ich werde den Joke jetzt immer wieder bringen. Es tut mir leid. You have my gratitude.
There's no need to thank me. It's only right to help each other when the weather gets rough.
Wow, she's so gentle and caring, like a nice older sister. Unlike those guys over there.
All right. Now that we're all better acquainted, we should return to the topic at hand. As a guardian charged with the responsibility to protect my fellow villagers from harm, I was observing your conflict from afar, even before the sandstorm started. And now that you have set foot within our village itself, it is all the more my responsibility to make absolutely sure that you pose no threat whatsoever to us. So please, have an honest and sincere conversation with one another, and put your hostile feelings to rest. If anyone dares to start anything again while they are under this roof, I will not hesitate to send them out for some quality time with the creatures of the sandstorm.
Oh, on second thought, Paimon may have misjudged Candace's character.
Candace is nuts. Jesus nuts.
And that goes for you too, Miss Dia. Do I make myself clear?
Oh mein Gott, denkt ihr?
Alright, we got it,
Ihre Ohrringe
Candace.
werden zu ihren Artefakten?
That's what I like to hear.
Also falls neue Artefakte in einen
which of you will begin?
neuen Bereich kommen.
I was supposed to be a mediator, but I might have gotten a little too involved just now. Anyway, one of those two should probably start talking.
Wait, that was you trying to be a mediator?
Aber keine ihrer Level-Up-Materialien brauchen neue
I have
Sachen.
nothing to hide, so there's no shame in explaining myself. While Alhaitham wasn't wrong about the other Matra not knowing my whereabouts, it's not because I've been assigned a morally dubious mission. Rather,
Außerdem soll Dia ja ziemlich
I've
schlecht
chosen to
sein,
exile myself.
von den Leaks her. Das interessiert mich aber
Exile
eigentlich nicht.
yourself?
Ich will eine Löwenkatze,
A little
Wolf,
while
was weiß
ago.
ich, was sie ist.
I discovered that there was data missing in the Academia's project planning and development files.
Wieso ist Candace Haut eigentlich
What
so
little they
extremst
did
hell, wenn
report
sie in der
clearly
Wüste
did
wohnt?
not match the project's actual progress. As General Mahamatra, I had the responsibility and authority to request an audit. However, to my surprise, the person responsible for the erroneous data was none other than Grand Sage Azar himself. I tried to investigate the issue myself before submitting a formal audit request, but I soon found that all leads and potential pieces of incriminating evidence were carefully concealed from me. I began to realize that they were cautious of me from the very beginning. Unsurprisingly, the Grand Sage rejected my audit request as soon as the submission reached his desk. He even said to me, "The power of the General Mahamatra is granted by the sages. You have no right to judge us."
Okay.
So they really are up to no good.
Ach nee.
I realized then that to the Grand Sage, the Matra are nothing more than tools for the sages to assert and maintain their control over knowledge. The vows that we took, the principles that we strive to uphold, they are meaningless to the academia of today.
Also hast du einen auf Meister Yoda gemacht und dich selbst ins Exil geschickt.
I believed it would be wise to flee the academia before the sages had a chance to take action against me. This way, They can no longer see nor predict my actions. I will never give up on this investigation. There's no need for someone else to give me power or authority. Once I find the truth, I will administer judgment by my own name.
Sino seems to have the same goal as us. We're all investigating the sages. Plus, now that he's no longer the General Mahamatra, he somehow feels a lot less scary.
Und warum ist Sino kleiner als Shao? Es ist immer noch zu früh im voll ins Vertrauen.
Sino, if that's your story, then why did you see Alhaitham as a target?
When I was investigating the matter in the academia, I overheard a conversation between Alhaitham and a sage. The sages asked you to investigate a blonde-haired traveler. Do you dispute this, Alhaitham?
What?
Like many parts of the project, this assignment was undocumented. Now throw in your suspicious behavior with a divine knowledge capsule, and I think we deserve an explanation.
From the very beginning, Alhaitham was...
Yes.
Alhaitham.
I was indeed tasked with investigating the Traveler.
Alhaitham?
After all, the promised reward was so great that hardly any scholar could have refused. The sage told me, once you've completed this assignment, I can give you a glimpse of divine knowledge.
A most enticing offer.
Unfortunately, those academics don't know me at all. Their words contain one key piece of information, namely that divine knowledge indeed exists. That gave me all I needed to know. From my perspective, the sages are far from trustworthy. Think about it. Isn't it a little strange they're so willing to share divine knowledge with anyone, even as a reward? So, I began my own investigation following the lead of the divine knowledge capsule. In the end, I realized my wisdom in committing to this rather than collaborating with the sages. Had I been less guarded, I probably would have ended up like that Ain al-Ahmar mercenary, incapable of remaining sane for long enough to hold a conversation.
You mean that the sages originally planned to dispose of you, using one of those capsules that drive people insane?
What about your encounter with me?
I'd already given up on the assignment by then. I only told the Academia I was waiting in Port Ormos for you to appear so they wouldn't suspect anything. So it came as quite a surprise when I encountered my erstwhile target while investigating the Divine Knowledge Capsule.
Criminals do love to talk about coincidences.
Even though I ran into the Traveler by chance, I had no intention of providing assistance to the Academia. Also, you should remember, you were the ones who decided to follow me and strike up a conversation after I left that tavern.
Now that you mention it, things did go like that.
That's true. Alhaitham helped us out at Caravan Rebat as well. Maybe he's telling the truth.
I'm willing to apologize, if that's worth anything to you. I took the Divine Knowledge Capsule behind your back because I judged its existence to be a significant risk. I felt that it would be best for no one to interact with it before it had been properly studied. After all, curiosity often proves to be the most dangerous thing in this land.
You should be well aware, Scribe Alhaitham, that curiosity can also lead you to danger and suspicion. Answer me this. Did the sages share any information about their project with you?
Have I not made myself clear? You and I are both distrusted by the Academia. Do you really think they would tell me anything?
Fine. Although you haven't completely proven your innocence, I won't regard you as an enemy, for now.
As you wish.
Good. I'm glad to see you two clearing up your misunderstandings. And now you, Dia. I believe it's your turn.
Oh, sorry. Whatever the boys were talking about must have been so boring that I spaced out.
My situation is pretty straightforward. My employer, Junior's of the Homeyani family, is friends with the Traveler and is currently recovering from her illness at home. I had nothing going on, so I decided to return to our village for a visit. I was actually looking forward to a pretty exciting time getting back together with everyone here. But then I saw these two random guys in the middle of a pointless argument. It ticked me off, and things went downhill from there.
Is that all? Well, I will admit that definitely sounds like your style. In that case, welcome back, dear.
That's more like it. I missed you all so much, Candace.
Candy's nuts. Oh nein, böse.
Whoa! What was that sound?
No need to worry. Now that you're no longer at each other's throats, please make yourselves at home. I'll take a quick trip outside to clear out some of those creatures in the sandstorm.
Creatures? In the sandstorm? Are you sure you don't want some backup?
Fighting in a sandstorm is not for the faint-hearted. Anyone without extensive training in these conditions is at a disadvantage. You needn't worry.
Yeah, just leave him to Candace. Don't worry, she's as tough as they come.
Also Candace ist jetzt nicht so krass, sie ist einfach nur ein Forster.
The wind's died down. That means the sandstorm's over, right?
Aber sie hat ziemlich viel Muskeln.
Candace still isn't back yet, though. Is she alright?
Mit einem Arm.
Maybe we should go out and check on her.
When you put it that way, even I'm starting to feel a little worried. All right, let's go. We've been here long enough, and the boys are as chatty as the floor.
Die hat so ein sexy Bauch. Klasse. So, für Jennifer, die immer sagt, ich habe zu wenig Essen. Bitteschön, ich habe mal gekocht.
Whoa! Candace, you're still fighting? You've been out here dealing with these creatures the entire time?
Yes. They just keep coming in waves. I've lost count of how many I've defeated. Before I realized it, even the sandstorm had stopped.
Not only is she really strong, she's hot as well. Wait, what?
Here comes another wave!
Oh nein, and the wave.
Leave this round to us. I got interrupted earlier, but now I have something to take my anger out on.
It's been quite a while since I've seen the Flame Mane in action. I'll leave these to you then.
I'll be sure to put on a good show. Let's go!
Wetten, wenn sie dann raus ist, kriegt man hier ein Trial mit ihr.
Shine down! Propagate! Scatter! Time to act. Let me weave you a spring forth! There is no escape! Now you shall perish!
Here comes another wave! When are they ever gonna let up?
Rain outlines your... Shine down! Torn to oblivion!
The creatures stopped appearing. Was that the last of them?
What we fought just now was probably the aftermath of the sandstorm. So we should be safe for the time being.
Well fought, everyone. No injuries, I hope.
Huh? Who are you?
Ah, My apologies. I haven't had a chance to greet you yet. I had my hands full taking care of the village's elderly and children.
Er ist so cool.
I am the chief of Aru village. Everyone usually calls me Uncle Anpu.
Onkel Ampu. Wisst ihr, wer auch Ampu heißt? Der eine Dude von den Simpsons, der eine Inder-Dude. Ah ne, der heißt Apu, aber das ist basically das gleiche.
Sir,
Sorry for all the trouble.
I am also originally from the desert, but I have not been back for some time now. May I ask if such sandstorms are common?
Alter,
I can't say they've always been common, but recently the storms have become increasingly severe and frequent. Besides sandstorms, we also occasionally get earthquakes. According to an investigator who stayed in the village a while ago, these unusual natural phenomena are related to the withering of Irminsul.
Another effect of Irminsul's withering. So, Irminsul's withering causes withering zones in the forest, and sandstorms and earthquakes here in the desert?
Everything in the natural world is inextricably connected to Irminsul. These regional symptoms can indeed be a reflection of Irminsul's present state.
Everyone in Aru village needs to take good care of themselves. Speaking of which, why haven't I seen a single village keeper since I got here?
Village keeper? Who are they? Village guards like Candace?
Nee, das eine ist ein Village Guards, das andere Keeper.
Does your curiosity know no bounds? Village Keeper is how Aru Village refers to mad scholars, exiled here by the Academia. Most of them are scholars who lost their sanity after a period of training in the Avidia Forest. The Academia believes that their crazed mutterings may have a negative effect on the psyches of other scholars. So, they're forcibly exiled to the desert. Though if you ask me, it's all a boatload of nonsense.
Ja, ganz kurz. Die sagen, okay, du bist verrückt geworden, passiert. Geh in die Wüste. Geh mal nach Tatooine oder wo auch immer wir hier sind. Geh nach Afrika oder wo auch immer man Arabisch spricht, was weiß ich. Chill mal da in dem einen Wüstendorf, wo es alle paar Tage einen Sandsturm gibt. And Tanari also brought this up before. Hypatia was nearly exiled to the desert.
Alas, that's exactly what we've been trying to investigate. One by one, the village keepers have been mysteriously disappearing without a trace. But no one in the village has ever seen them leave. If you're planning to stay around the village for the next few days, I'd appreciate it if you could keep an eye out for them.
I've had encounters with those people in the past. I'll see what I can do to help.
The Matra are the ones responsible for their exile. Now that you're no longer with them, are you trying to alleviate your guilt and atone for your past sins? I'm fascinated by how you think.
Mock me if you will,
ich sag jetzt gar nichts, außer
but if you are guilty,
ganz genau den Handschuh
I
von
will
der Häfe
eliminate you,
und sag mir, was
regardless
falsch
of my
daran ist.
position or identity.
Oh, you're the former General Mahamatra. You must be an expert in these kinds of investigations. Thank you for your help.
Is it because you're reminded of Hypatia? Oh, these poor scholars. First they lose their sanity, now this! We need to help get them back home, safe and sound. But, is it really a good idea to tag along with Sino? You seem like you really don't trust him.
I'll be grateful for the assistance. No doubt you will do a better job than some of my former subordinates. Let's start by finding a spot to share what we know so far.
Fingernägel sind so leicht bläulich lackiert. Mona? Okay, das dann schon. Ninkong, du hast komische Fingerguards, ne? Aber guck mal, sie hat auch sassy Fingerguards. hast auch Handschuhe, normale Handschuhe. Lisa. Lisa hat unlackierte Fingernägel? Nein, Lisa hat gar keine Fingernägel. Rosaria, du hast auch diese... Warum haben alle diese crazy Handschuhe, Digga? Rosaria thick as fuck, by the way. Oh, hier ist mein Raiden-Bild übrigens. Kurz durchskippen, falls ihr die Stats sehen wollt.
Although I've sent myself into exile, I'm still doing essentially the same things as before. Do you still have any questions for me before we start our investigation? One of my former subordinates told me that this title has its origins in a strange incident. The Academia has long exiled mad scholars to Aru Village. A mysterious phenomenon exists here. When mad scholars first arrive, they are as incoherent and deranged as before. But after spending some time here, they invariably begin to calm down. Initially, the people of Aru Village greatly resented having to take in the mad scholars. But a strange incident one night changed that. Aru Village was struck by the strongest earthquake in living memory. Seeing buildings on the verge of collapse all around him, the then chief of the village was preparing to take everyone to safety. Suddenly, he noticed a mad scholar crouching in a corner, caressing the ground with his hands. A soft, green light radiated from him, like a divine glow against the backdrop of night. Despite the powerful tremors that ripped through the ground that night, all the houses remained upright, almost as if they had grown roots reaching deep into the ground. In the end, not a single building collapsed, and no one was hurt. After that, the people of Aru Village treated the mad scholars with greater kindness, and began to refer to them as the village keepers.
The soft green light? A mad scholar protecting Aru Village?
Story.
What do you make of it, traveler?
Dauert scheinbar insgesamt 13 Stunden. Für die komplette Genshin Story scheinbar. It must have been Nahia's power.
Paimon thinks so too. Actually, Sino, do you know if any of the mad scholars continued to wear their Akasha terminals at Aru Village?
In theory, they would continue wearing them so the Academia could still monitor their activities. With that said, the main Akasha system would no longer have any interaction with them.
Oh, no wonder! Everything makes sense then! Add in the fact that they calmed down, it was probably Nahida who calmed them.
Yeah.
If you are able to draw a conclusion from this one story alone, then it appears you possess much more information than I do. So, what do you make of the story?
The mad scholar's power likely came from Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Really? Lesser Lord Kusanali.
What? You don't believe us? Lesser Lord Kusanali was definitely using the Akasha to give her power to the mad scholars!
No, it's not so much that I don't believe you. I'm just struck by your reasoning. Lesser Lord Kusanali, the current Dendro Archon, is she really active in Sumeru? The Academia has always placed far greater importance on the late Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. They've more or less ignored Lesser Lord Kusanali. In addition, I've never heard any stories about Lesser Lord Kusanali and her deeds. To me, she might as well have been a god that never existed.
Let's rob
No way! Nahida definitely exists! She's a... How should Paimon put it? She's a good archon who's kind and wise. Even if she says weird stuff sometimes.
True. We saved Sumeru City together in a not-so-distant past.
I've spent many years interrogating criminals, so I can easily tell when someone is lying.
Good! Then you should know that we're telling the truth!
That look in your eyes. I've never seen that from a liar. You two really must have met Lesser Lord Kusanali. How can this be? To think, our Archon has been amongst us this entire time.
Ich bin halt der Honorary Knight of
Now it's our turn to put our
Jean's
skills to
personal
good use
Ritter,
for this
Jean's
investigation.
Pillow und Befriender of the Adanadas.
But easier said than done.
Bezwinger der
Especially since we don't have
Shogun.
any leads.
Erklimmer von Zhonglis
Maybe we
Arsch.
can start by knocking on some doors.
Excuse me, are you here to help me find my grandpa?
Bezwinger von Zhonglis
Who are you?
Purse.
By the sounds of it, a resident of this village.
My name is Isak. You'll help me find my grandpa, right?
Is your grandpa a mad scholar?
Hey, don't say that. Grandpa is just Grandpa.
Oh,
why do you
Paimon is
have to call
Paimon.
him that? It's not like he's a bad person or anything.
The person you're referring to is not a local, yet you are. Why do you call him Grandpa?
Grandpa is just Grandpa.
Das hast du schon mal
He's
gesagt.
my family. I heard everything you said to the village chief. Please, you gotta take me with you. I want to find my grandpa. I swear I'll help. I won't be a nuisance.
Doch wirst du.
So you're the one who was eavesdropping on us around the village chief's house. I was planning to go out and take care of whoever it was, but I had a vague feeling that they didn't harbor any ill intent.
Sino, wie spürst du
Hazen
sowas?
wasn't kidding about Matra having sharp senses. Sino, he's just a kid. All he wants is to find his grandpa. Let's find a way to help him.
Sorry, I was only listening in because I wanted to know where Grandpa went. Honest. If you don't believe me, you can ask Miss Candace.
Candy's nuts. Please help us.
All right. But first, let's confirm the facts with Candace.
Candy's nuts. Ich bin jetzt immer noch bei 3. Ich bin immer noch bei Akt 3. Kanake, Kanake.
Sino is super vigilant.
Ah, you're back already.
Sorry, ich hab geskippt.
We just wanted to confirm something with you. Do you know a boy by the name of Isak?
I had a feeling he'd go looking for you.
Huh? You knew this would happen?
Yes. Although he tried his best to stay hidden, I still noticed him eavesdropping outside the window. He really wants to get his grandfather back. Isak's parents were both Aramite mercenaries who rarely returned to the village after finding employment in the city. He was raised by his grandfather. Unfortunately, it was only a few years before his grandpa passed away. Isak was still very young at the time, so various families in the village took turns caring for him so he could survive. Later, an elderly mad scholar arrived at the village. Isak thought the scholar bore a striking resemblance to his grandfather, and thus often spied on the man. However, the scholar was unkempt in appearance and incoherent in speech. Although Isak referred to the man as his grandpa, he was afraid and didn't dare to approach him. One summer night, the oft mumbling and bumbling grandpa suddenly calmed down and seemed to become more lucid. He even noticed Isak hiding in the distance.
Okay.
So Grandpa walked up to Isak and patted him on the head. He even took Isak to the entrance of the village, where he patiently taught the boy the names of the stars, and accompanied Isak until he fell asleep. The next morning, Isak woke up and wanted to go find his grandpa again, only to realize his grandpa no longer recognized him. However, even so, Grandpa retained his calm expression. It's said that those who saw the scholar claimed he no longer appeared to be crazy, but appeared to be living in his own world, almost as if he were sleepwalking. Isak was thrilled that his grandpa was able to find peace and would follow him all the time, asking him things like, "Grandpa, want me to take you somewhere fun?" Or, "Grandpa, could you tell me stories about the stars again?"
All this somehow just makes Paimon feel really sad. It seems like they both deserve so much better.
Perhaps. Nearly everyone who lives in the desert has some form of hardship or regret. But even so, we must still continue on with our lives. It's also my reason for fighting. I must continue to protect this land.
Ich wollte schon immer eine hotte Mom haben. Lucid Grandpa, okay. From the look on Simon's face, he's probably connecting the dots as well.
Maybe the people have always had a considerate god watching over them.
Huh? What did you say, Sino?
No, nothing. As long as Isak keeps his word and doesn't get in our way, we can take him along.
Perhaps you are more compassionate than I gave you credit for.
Danke, Mama.
Please accept my thanks on Isak's behalf, Sino.
Sie hat ihre Heilung in ihre Handtasche eingebaut. Wie cool ist das bitte?
Hey, Isak!
Hey, Isak! Oh, it's you guys!
We've cleared everything up! Let's go find your grandpa!
Really? Wow! Yeah!
Alright. Let's ask...
Oh mein Gott, okay. 5 Parts.
All the world holds dear is but a backdrop of constant motion. I stand before it, alone and unchanging.
Okay. King Dash has a different part.
The world remains constant over the centuries.
Okay,
But human life is like the dew at dawn, or a bubble rising through water. Transitory.
Excuse me, did you happen to see where the missing scholars went?
You mean the village keepers? Oh, let me think. When I was eating dinner the other day, I saw one of them by the side of the road, muttering away and eating mushrooms and tree roots. They shouldn't go around eating that kind of stuff.
Okay. Did you notice anything else?
Anything else? No, I think that's all I have to tell you. Sorry.
Okay, tschüss, Bruder. Dann geh halt einfach. Sehr unfreundlich. Physics. Guck dich ihre Nase von uns. Ihre Nase ist einfach ein Dreieck. Jinxes Nase, alle Nasen sind Dreiecke. Oh Gott. Oh Gott.
The scholars that have gone missing.
Those eyes. Those fierce eyes. You look like a real fighter.
Don't change the subject.
Right. You were asking about the mad scholars. I think it's been a few days since I last saw them. I usually go to bed pretty early, so I'm not too familiar with what goes on at night. But honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them. Even though they act a little strange, they've helped me in the past. If it weren't for them, my house would have collapsed long ago.
Do you also think Grandpa and the others are good people?
Grandpa? Oh, hello there. It's little Isak. You mean that nice man who looks like your grandpa's long-lost twin, right? He was actually the one who protected my house. I saw it with my own eyes. He happened to be staying near my house that day and was doing something with his hands on the ground. It still feels pretty surreal now that I think back on it. Did someone teach them how to do that? Well, whatever the case, I'll always be thankful to him and whoever taught him to look out for others. I'm pretty sure that if I ever went mad, I wouldn't be able to do anything like that.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Dieser Hack ist, by the way, ein Ginger. Der hat keine Orangen, aber so rot. Ich kann hier kochen. Miso Soup. Ich habe 239 Tofu. Miso Soup. Ja, Thomas, mach Special Dishes. Pam. Danke, Thomas. Ich mach noch ein paar Suppen. Damit Jennifer zufrieden ist mit der Menge an Essen, die ich habe. Jabari.
Sir, have you seen my grandpa recently? You know, the one who likes to sit and space out near the village entrance.
Oh, well, if it isn't Isak. Oh, your grandpa, huh? It's been a while. The last time I saw him, he was spacing out by the road as usual. I went and asked him if he'd like any of the food I had prepared, despite my wife's protests. Like many people, she's really quite terrified of them. And speaking of my wife, she's still always complaining about how I don't make enough mora. Might explain why she's always mad at me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for taking care of him.
It was nothing. You're looking for him, right? Did he go for a walk and get lost?
Yeah.
That's no good. Well, once you found him, come by my place again and I'll cook a little something for the both of you. I've known you since you were very young. So as far as I'm concerned, you're family. Please feel free to come by anytime.
Wow, what a nice guy!
Okay, thank you, sir.
Huh? Don't say anything for... Isak, let's head over there. Stay quiet as you move.
Ja. So, Freunde. Hier beginnt Chapter 4. Und damit... hau ich noch das Achievement ab. Damit machen wir Schluss für heute. Ciao.